Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, The Auto Intuitive. My name is Isaac, and here we have the new BMW X1, the 2023. Whole new redesign. This is not a life cycle impulse. Sorry about the plane going overhead. So, redesign. I like it. I like it a lot. Of course, the grille got bigger there. This is the X line, so this is not an M Sport. This is just a normal X1. And this is also an X Drive. That's why we have these crappy tires on it. Sorry. I just think the BMWs that come to the winter environments come with tires that they're snow focused. I mean, these are Continental Pro Contact. They're snow focused. They also give you a great first impression. But if you change the tires on these things, it changes their personalities quite a bit. Anyways, back to the car, off the tires. The new X1 2023, this has 241 horsepower, 295 pound-feet. The previous one had 228 horsepower and no torque. And this also has a 7-speed dual clutch. So as I was driving it, it has that interesting takeoff feel to it. And unlike an 8-speed transmission, you feel like it's kind of balancing a clutch or something when you take off in first, and then it zooms off. And once you're into the higher rev range, it snaps the gears pretty well, and it holds the gears pretty well. So let's start in the back. Oh, by the way, it has the automatic locking and unlocking feature. Finally. And it has iDrive 8, of course. Let's open the back. So this back is interesting because as far as I've read and I know, the previous car offers 58 cubic feet with the seats down. This offers 57 and some change, which is interesting. But I do think that this is a larger opening. Never mind the interior space itself. I think that the opening, the mouth, is larger. And so it should be fairly okay to get around with this car. This one is opted with a spare. Look at that. Unlike cars without a spare, this would be extra storage down here. You got a spanner. Let's close that. The car is nearly an X3 size, so it's an inch in height shorter than the X3. But it's an inch longer than the previous one and an inch wider. But the height is where it's close to an X3, not necessarily the width or the length. Another thing about this car is, oh, by the way, I think I already said that it keeps locking and unlocking. Another thing about this car is how rigid the doors feel. The doors feel pretty rigid, and they are flush. The door handles are flush. But when you open the car, let's see, it won't open for me since the rear door handles don't have comfort access. The front door handles do, but not the rear. But let's make our way to the driver's seat here. Oh, there we go, it unlocked itself. Yeah, the doors feel like Volvo doors, which is unusual for a BMW. This car is way more rigid than in structure. It feels like than an X3. It finally feels like an SUV because the previous 228 felt like a little hatchback. You could definitely tell it was a Mini Cooper underneath. Hatchback go-kart. Look at the interior here. This has the Harman Kardon speakers, which sound really nice. I like the door handles here. Nice and sturdy, including the door handles, which are nice and big. I've never seen such big door handles in my life. I mean, look at those. In case we go airborne. In the back, you see there are new seats. This must be the new Sensafin for the X1 specifically. And you can see in the middle there are holes, or should you see perforated. So that allows you to sink into this part. On the sides where it's not perforated, it's a bit stiffer. So these seats naturally hold you in place, including the middle here is perforated, but the edges are not. So it gives it a more sporty feel when you're sitting in the back. I love the windows. You have a lot of windows, so you can look around, unlike, you know, a lot of new cars. And also, let's not miss the 2 USB-C chargers. There they are in the back, your 2 superchargers. And so let's get into the driver's seat. But before we get into the driver's seat, I want to show you under the hood. So let's look at the front of the car. Of course, we pull here 2 times. And then we walk around. So I pull 2 times because you don't have to look for the latch. And so, because the grille is getting bigger, of course, this opening looks smaller. It's getting smaller. The 7 Series is smaller too. The hood itself is smaller. It must be the radiators or something from here to here, because the engine's all the way back there, which I can't answer. The headlights are adaptive as well, and they corner at night with the steering wheel. And also you have automatic high beams and low beams. Another thing I almost forgot to show you on the new X1 is your blind spot. Your blind spot detection. Where's our triangle? There it is. See it? Right there. Anyways, I'm gonna close the hood because someone buying this car is not really going to care about opening this hood. Although it does have 241 horsepower now, 295 pound-feet. All right, let's get in. Ta-da! There's our iDrive 8, as expected. The new iDrive system. The steering wheel is nice. It's not so, I mean, the outer is grand for this car size, but I like the middle. I always like that this is a handful. It's perfect that way, but of course we all have different hands. And yeah, you have customizable, the center rack, you are missing the iDrive controller. So everything I need to do on the screen, I need to do it touchscreen wise. So I'm going to put my foot on the brake and hit the start button. Upcoming services, none. There we go. That not having an iDrive controller is something that I don't agree with. I'm still trying to get over the gear lever because it vanished, and you could see here that you can no longer have a plus or minus to change gears. You can only put the car into drive. There's D, or into L, which is low range, I'm guessing. But if you're driving quickly, it could be an L4 or L5, and it holds the gear. But I'm not sure I agree with the toggle switch. But that's how everything is going. And you press the P here, which looks like the parking brake, and that puts it in park at the same time. I love the wireless charger. One of the best wireless chargers, and this thing holds it. Holds your phone. You could put your phone vertically like that, and it could be facing you, and you could have like a double screen thing, like in an Audi, or a Range Rover. But the interior quality is magnificent, and I can't wait to see the M Sport version of this car, because I believe these seats are going to be different. They're going to be more sporty. Another thing I noticed is you have a camera up here in the roof, so you could take pictures of ourselves, just like in the iX. You smile and it takes a picture. This screen is smaller, by the way. This screen on the dash, it's not as big as the ones in the other cars from 3 Series up. And you have to use it as a touchscreen because you have no choice. So, I mean, it's nice that they put that in this car. I have no complaints. The outward view of this vehicle is magnificent. Oh, there's my car over there. I love the outward view. Everything's under the dash. If I can see the hole for the heads-up display, the frontal view is pretty nice. The windshield's also pretty high as well. You also do have 2 USB-Cs up here, 2 superchargers, Good God. That's a lot of supercharging. You have 2 in the back as well. For a small car, you have plenty. And this car is not necessarily small. Anyways, just what do you guys think about the new 2023 X1? Oh, one more thing. I don't like the blinker. This new blinker stick is tiny. Do you see this thing? So when you're holding the steering wheel like this and you want to hit the blinker, you better have some long fingers to change it. I wish it did come out a little bit further, but I don't like to complain. And this one is also a little bit stubby, I would say. A little tiny than I would like. But I like that it's more, the way they click is more crisp for sure with a blinker. Another thing about the steering wheel is when you're turning in the X1, it feels really smooth compared to the previous car. Although this car does feel heavier, and noticing its ample more power is difficult. I personally think so, but I also do drive that car over there, so maybe that's what's going on. Other than that, let me know what you guys think about the new X1 and what I can answer for you. Thank you for your time. Until next time.